One of the biggest questions I get asked all the time is, Garrett, where would you rank player A versus current NFL players? And it's really tricky when trying to rank college guys with NFL players. But we have some good ideas on some things already at this point. A, we know some teams that are going to be drafting in that range. B, we have a pretty good idea of their skill set at this point in the college season. And lastly, we have a decent idea of where they're going to be drafted. Maybe not 100%. No one's even 100%. Even the day of the draft, we still get plenty of things wrong. Guys climb, guys fall, but we at least have some general ideas. So I thought this might be helpful to kind of give a rough gauge of where I would rank certain players today if this scenario happens amongst NFL players. So let's start at the quarterback position. Let's start with Cam Ward. I have him right now going number 3 overall to New Orleans. Now, we know the draft order is going to change, but New Orleans is a team that is going to be looking toward their future. Derek Carr clearly isn't it. This is the earliest they've selected in a long time, and this is going to be their opportunity to get the quarterback of the future. Guys like New England and Jacksonville, who are ahead of them, likely won't be going for a quarterback, and sure, teams could trade up, but looking at Cam Ward at 3 here, really like him as a prospect, but it's not the most ideal landing spot as far as fantasy football goodness. But we've seen it before and we'll continue to see it again. It's player over situation 9 times out of 10. And in this situation, I think Cam Ward is a very talented player. Right now, I would rank him dynasty fantasy football wise at quarterback 18. This would be right behind Tua and right in front of the guy that I would rank next, and that's Mr. Shedeur Sanders. I have him going at 4 to Carolina. This is another team that needs a quarterback. With Shedeur Sanders, I think he's a great fit in Dave Canales' offense. I think when you look at the weapons, though, he doesn't have the same weapon in Chris Olave there in Carolina like Cam Ward would have. But I think his talent and skill set matches up really nice with this offense. So I think that he would be pretty good here. So I'm only going to put him 1 spot behind Cam Ward at quarterback 19. So it would go Tua, Cam Ward, and then Shedeur Sanders, and then Trevor Lawrence for me right now in my dynasty quarterback rankings. Let's move to the running back spot. Right now, we all know that Ashton Jeanty is probably going to be the top guy. Depending on how high the Cowboys pick, they might almost get too high to take Ashton Jeanty. So right now, I have Jeanty going 21 to the Chargers. Obviously, this would be a hand in glove fit as far as player with scheme and situation. I think he would instantly, because of age, skill set, and the landing spot, instantly become a top running back. In fact, I'm already going to put him inside the top 5 if this were the scenario. He would be my running back 5 behind Breece Hall, because we know, A, he's got the ability and the talent. He's putting up stupid numbers. But B, youth is such a big part of the equation for running backs, bigger than any other spot in Dynasty Fantasy Football ranking. So give me Ashton Jeanty there as RB5. Sticking at running back, we got 2 more guys we're going to cover. At 36, pick 36, so this would be one of the early picks there in the second round. I have the Cleveland Browns taking Omarion Hampton. Now, Nick Chubb has been the guy there for a long time. He is a class act, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to be the same guy that he used to be. And so I think Cleveland is ready to get their running back of the future. And a guy like Omarion Hampton fits this mold. He's a guy that is a physical, downhill runner, similar style to what we had in Nick Chubb, but he's just as good, if not better. And I would argue better in the receiving game. I don't know that anybody can replicate easily what Nick Chubb did on the ground, but Omarion Hampton could get close. I think he's a very, very talented back. He would be one that I would want to keep moving up, but right away, he would probably be my running back 10, right behind Kenneth Walker. Last one would be Quinshon Judkins at 58 to Pittsburgh. You say, well, why Pittsburgh? They already have a running back in Najee Harris. Well, he's going to be a free agent, and I don't expect him to be back in Pittsburgh. So I think they get another physical, bruising, bell cow type back, and I think Quinshon Judkins fits that mold really well. I don't think he's quite as talented as Omarion Hampton, and we haven't seen in that offense anybody really be able to have big seasons recently. We'll see if they improve that offense, but Right now, I would put him at running back 19, and that would put him right between Jonathan Brooks and Trey Benson, with Trey Benson being the higher one, Jonathan Brooks being the lower. Let's go to the wide receiver spot. I have Tet McMillan as a top 10 pick, going 6th overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. There's definitely a chance they could take quarterback, but in this scenario, the two best ones are gone, and I don't know that they're going to rush out to try to just make something work. I wouldn't be surprised if they sign a free agent, make something happen, trade for somebody, but still, all that being said, I think they go Tet McMillan. Tet McMillan is a monster, 6'5". He's got that huge frame, the truest of a prototypical X that you will come to find. I think he would go instantly right inside my top 12, and he would go one spot behind Rashee Rice, who's at wide receiver 11. I would have Tet McMillan at wide receiver 12. Tampa Bay is going to take a wide receiver here at 14, and that's going to be Mr. Luther Burden. That's right. Luther Burden, one of the top receivers in his class for a long time, more of a slot Deebo Samuel type of player. And I think with the probable departure of Chris Godwin after this year, they're going to be looking for somebody to be able to fill that spot. And I think Burden would do it masterfully. He would be a great pairing with Baker Mayfield, and I think he would instantly become a wide receiver too. So I'm going to put him right away at wide receiver 18. That would be behind Zay Flowers and just ahead of DK Metcalf. Last receiver we're going to cover, another one in the first round at pick 29. Washington goes wide receiver, and they take another Ohio State wide receiver. The last one in Terry McLaurin panned out pretty well for them. So they're going to go back to that Ohio State well and take Emeka Egbuka. Emeka Egbuka, he's a very physical wide receiver, different style than Terry McLaurin, so it would complement each other well, but it would be awesome to get another weapon there for Jaden Daniels, and I think Emeka Egbuka could be that guy. Instantly, he also becomes a wide receiver too. I'd have him at wide receiver 22, just behind Jalen Waddle and just ahead of Jackson Smith and Jigba. Last but not least, let's go to the tight end position. I'm looking at Colston Loveland, and he's going to be going to Denver at pick 19. I would put him at roughly tight end 6 for me. We know Sean Payton loves his tight ends, and he did a great job with Jimmy Graham. I think he would love to kind of bring that back and give his quarterback, Bo Nix, who's the jury's still out, but he's played decently well so far. He would love to give him a big-time weapon like a Colston Loveland. I think he would instantly become my tight end 6, just behind TJ Hawkinson and just ahead of Dalton Kincaid. Guys, where do you guys see these players being drafted? Curious your thoughts. Am I too high, too low on my dynasty ranking, my NFL draft pick? There's a lot that could change, a lot that could still happen, but it's fun to kind of get ahead and see where we would take these players.